Infestation was one of those movies I just thought I'd just throw it on, see what it was all about. If it's crap, fine, it'll kill an hour and a half. If it's good, then, kind of want to watch almost. Let me just stand aside one moment and bring in the poster. This poster does not accurately represent the movie that is on show, which is a real shame because it looks... I know what they're trying to do with this thing, but they're misselling it. Infestation is about a character named Cooper. He is a lost cause. He's a man-child, somebody that probably never grew up. He's very much stuck in the Peter Pan-esque mould, and he has this job in an office, which he is continually late for, which he makes everybody play games that they don't want to play, pretty much doesn't want to live an adult life. He's the kind of guy that will never be on time, will walk out into traffic without looking and blame other people for almost knocking him over. And he's a kind of lovable loser. And because of Chris Marquette's performance, you kind of like Cooper, and you get all this information within the first couple of minutes of the movie. And one of the best things about this movie is it doesn't waste any time in jumping into the meat of the story. You know from the title, you know from the blurb, you know from the cover that it's going to be about bugs, and they land fairly quickly. Within 5-10 minutes of the movie, the town, the population are all kind of cocooned into these webs, and everybody wakes up, they've kind of lost their memory of what happened, and then they suddenly realise that everything's not quite right. There's these giant bugs about. They're not hugely giant, but they must be about 3 feet long, and they are just decimating the whole world as far as they can see. In the distance, there is a big red plume of smoke just hovering over the horizon, looking all gnarly and twisted. And Chris starts to wake up other people round about the office, and they venture out into the world to see that pretty much the whole town looks as if it's the same way, and they start to waking people up. Pretty soon they have a band of a few folk, and you can kind of spot who's going to die straight away, most of them. And the fun is taking these characters on a trip through a giant monster movie. Now, it's low budget and the special effects aren't great, but they're good enough and they work well. It's a movie that you have to work a little bit to enjoy, to get into the movie, but once you get attuned to the tone it's going for and for the kind of aesthetic that it has, I found it really enjoyable. I like this core group of characters. You've got like Cooper, you've got the girl who's kind of standoffish, kind of hot, kind of smart. You've got the dumb blonde weather girl. You have the father and son. The son's deaf and doesn't really say much, but he's a big hulking figure. You have this really smart woman who kind of starts to work out everything that needs to happen and decides to save a lot of people. She's like the real hero of the movie, and we lose her like 30 minutes in. She doesn't die. She just goes away to save other people while this group of survivors just try to save themselves. It's quite interesting that, you've got this background character who's the hero of the piece, who goes away to save other people, and we stay with this kind of bunch of losers almost. And they slowly die off due to the bugs, and they're trying to trek to Cooper's father's house because he's an ex-military man, he's got weapons, he's got a bomb shelter, he's got a place where they can hold up. And it's pretty much the movie from them getting from A to B without everybody dying. And I like some of the aspects about it. It's got these archetypes that you get in horror movies, like I said, all those characters, but it circumvents them. The hot bombshell blonde weather girl really wants Cooper, and that just makes him uncomfortable and awkward, and he just keeps rebutting her advances, which is really kind of funny. And it does these kind of trope twists all the way through the movie, which I really appreciated, because I've seen a lot of movies like this, and for some movie to change the typicalness of these storylines around, it just works. It works a lot better than just retreading the same old ground. Like I said, the special effects are sometimes hokey, sometimes good, but what drives it along is a really interesting script. The way these bugs move, what they're up to, how they're evolving, how they're changing other things into more creatures like them. It's all fun, it's all interesting, and it's just a shame that it never had as big a budget to do as well as it could have. I would love to have seen a sequel to this. In fact, I know that the lead star and the director signed on for 3 movies. That's never really happened, which after watching the first one, it's a bit of a shame really, because I had a lot of fun with Infestation. It reminded me of Feast, Tremors, those kind of movies, the kind of monster movies that have a little bit of humour and a little bit of self-awareness about them, and that can go a long way with me. I like Infestation. I like it a lot. It's a movie that I'm going to give 3.5 out of 5, and that's probably more than it should get, but it gets by on its charm and its fun and its creativity, which I like because of that. I'm going to suggest that you go out and check this out. If you like Tremors, if you like Feast, those kind of movies, I think you're going to get a lot of enjoyment out of Infestation, and I think it is well worth checking out. Let me know in the comment box below what you thought of it, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.